Have you ever wondered what happens when an icon of American industry makes a move that shakes the very foundation of the nation's food supply? For over a century, John Deere has symbolized the promise and persistence of American agriculture, a trusted name that powered the dreams of farmers across the heartland. Today, however, a decision that many are calling nothing short of revolutionary is threatening to rewrite that legacy. In an unprecedented twist, John Deere is shifting significant portions of its manufacturing operations to Mexico, a move that has already ignited fierce debates, political threats, and a deep sense of betrayal among those who built this country on hard work and small-town grit. For generations, John Deere wasn't just a company, it was a beacon of reliability and progress. The iconic green machines were more than tools. They were a lifeline for countless farmers who relied on them to plow fields, harvest crops, and sustain entire communities. This legacy, steeped in over 180 years of innovation and trust, created an unbreakable bond between the brand and American farmers. They believed in a future built on stability and the promise of an enduring tradition, a promise that seemed as solid as the machinery itself. But the tide of economic turbulence has shifted dramatically. Faced with declining sales, escalating operational costs, and an industry under siege by falling crop prices, John Deere has been forced to rethink its century-old formula. In a bid to remain competitive, the company has initiated drastic measures that include substantial layoffs across multiple plants. Entire families in small towns where John Deere was often the largest employer now face the harsh reality of job losses that ripple far beyond the factory floor. These workforce cuts are not isolated incidents. They represent a seismic shift that threatens the social fabric of rural America, leaving communities reeling from the sudden loss of their primary economic engine. Amid mounting economic pressures, the decision to outsource parts of production to Mexico emerges as both a calculated risk and a bitter pill to swallow. John Deere's strategy centers on relocating lower-skill tasks, such as cab assembly, to a market where labor is cheaper and operating costs are significantly lower. The rationale is straightforward. By trimming expenses, the company hopes to reinvest in high-value manufacturing and cutting-edge innovation back on U.S. soil. Yet, this move carries an enormous political and economic price tag. The prospect of relocating critical operations across the border has stirred not only economic anxieties, but also a storm of nationalistic fervor, as many see it as a betrayal of the very values that once made John Deere a household name. The controversy reached a fever pitch when former President Donald Trump reacted with a resounding threat. If John Deere follows through with its plans, a punitive 200% tariff will be levied on all its imports into the United States. This isn't just political posturing, it's a stark warning that the repercussions of outsourcing could trigger a cascade of economic hardships. Tariffs of such magnitude could make it nearly impossible for the company to remain profitable in the domestic market, turning the move into a double-edged sword that might ultimately undermine the very savings it was supposed to generate. The political theater surrounding this decision has transformed what was once a business strategy into a battleground for national pride and economic sovereignty. As the debate rages on in boardrooms and on the streets, the real impact is being felt by the backbone of American agriculture, the farmers. Once unwavering in their loyalty, many are now disillusioned by a company they once revered. Protests have erupted outside dealerships and boycotts have taken shape as communities rally together in anger and disbelief. Alternative brands are gaining traction as farmers seek out machinery that promises greater transparency and a commitment to local production. Companies like Kubota, AGCO, and others are stepping into the breach, offering equipment that comes without the heavy price of political and economic uncertainty. For many in the fields, this isn't just about a brand. It's about survival, identity, and the future of their way of life. But the unfolding drama isn't confined to American borders. On the global stage, the challenges facing John Deere are magnified by fierce competition and rapid technological advancements. Across the world, Chinese manufacturers are emerging as formidable rivals, offering tractors, harvesters, and precision farming tools at a fraction of the cost of their American counterparts. This global competition, combined with a surge in automation and artificial intelligence, is rapidly reshaping the agricultural landscape. Advanced robotic systems, self-driving tractors, and AI-driven monitoring are no longer the stuff of science fiction. They are becoming everyday tools that promise to revolutionize farming. Yet, for traditional manufacturers like John Deere, the shift towards high-tech solutions poses its own set of dilemmas. How do you balance the time-honored principles of craftsmanship with the relentless pace of technological change. And what does it mean for an industry that has long prided itself on human ingenuity and the sweat of hard-working farmers? The ripple effects of these seismic shifts extend far beyond the assembly lines. Rural communities that have thrived on the economic stability provided by John Deere now face an uncertain future. Small farms, which have been the beating heart of American agriculture, are under siege from multiple fronts: rising operational costs, plummeting crop prices, and a market that increasingly favors large-scale mechanized operations. With government subsidies often skewed toward corporate giants, independent farmers find themselves caught in a relentless cycle of debt and dwindling support. As the numbers of small family farms dwindle, so too does the rich tapestry of local culture and community that has long defined the American countryside. This isn't merely an economic crisis, it's a profound social and cultural reckoning. Amid these challenges, additional pressures are mounting from unexpected quarters. The very labor force that fuels American agriculture is shrinking under the strain of evolving immigration policies. For decades, immigrant workers have been the unsung heroes of the farming industry, performing the backbreaking work that makes modern agriculture possible. However, restrictive policies threaten to decimate this vital workforce, placing even greater burdens on an industry already on the edge. Without sufficient labor, crops may go unharvested, production costs will soar, and the delicate balance that sustains the nation's food supply could be irreparably disrupted. The intertwining of economic and social factors creates a scenario where the fate of American agriculture hangs in the balance, threatened by forces both internal and external. And then there's the looming specter of climate change, a force that has accelerated the pace of agricultural instability. In recent years, extreme weather events have ravaged farmlands, from devastating droughts in the Midwest to unprecedented flooding and wildfires in key growing regions. These climate-driven disasters not only decimate crop yields, but also force farmers to invest in expensive adaptive measures, further straining their already precarious financial positions. While John Deere has attempted to respond by developing climate-friendly technologies, such as electric tractors and automated irrigation systems, the broader challenge remains. How can an industry built on tradition and hard work adapt fast enough to combat a rapidly changing environment? As the threads of economic uncertainty, political turmoil, global competition, and environmental change intertwine, one question remains at the forefront. Can John Deere, and by extension, American agriculture, reinvent itself in the face of these overwhelming challenges? The legacy of John Deere has always been one of resilience and adaptation, yet the current crisis is unprecedented in scope and complexity. The very decisions made today will determine not only the future of a storied company, but also the livelihood of millions of Americans who depend on the stability of a system that has long been taken for granted. In the midst of layoffs, political threats, and an increasingly hostile global market, John Deere's bold move to relocate manufacturing to Mexico stands as a stark emblem of a new reality. It is a reality where traditional methods clash with modern imperatives, where local loyalties are tested by global economic forces, and where the promise of a stable future is continually renegotiated with every policy shift and market disruption. As the debate rages and the stakes continue to climb, one thing is certain: the future of American farming is no longer a simple story of green machines and endless fields. It is a complex narrative of survival, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of progress. So, as we stand on the precipice of a new era in agriculture, the big question is, will these bold moves and rapid changes ultimately lead to a renaissance in American farming, or are we witnessing the unraveling of a once unbreakable bond between a company and its people? The answer isn't clear, and the consequences will ripple through generations. We invite you to join the conversation. Share your thoughts on whether John Deere's controversial decision will redefine the industry for the better, or if it signals the beginning of a much deeper crisis. Your perspective matters in this unfolding drama, and together, we might just uncover a path forward in these turbulent times.